Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today I will be ranking a few Norwegian songs from Eurovision from the year 1993 until the year 2022. There are 29 of them, so we're gonna be here for a while, but I hope you're ready for that because I certainly am. I'm gonna completely waste my vocal cords talking for probably around 30 minutes, so I hope you're in for the ride. I feel like we shouldn't waste too much time here in the opening. You probably know already how this works. 29 songs, we have 7 categories. I'll be talking some nonsense and I'll be ranking songs completely differently to what you would probably do. But I will get right into it with the effort from 1993. This one is called Alle mine tanker, or something like that, which I think is a superbly pretty song. I really, really like this one. I think the performance is very captivating. The instrumental is really enchanting, like has this magical tone to it. I love the instrumentation. The vocal performance is quite whispery in a way, which I really like. And just the whole setting in like the arena as well. Everything becomes quite very focused on the storytelling of this song, which I think is also really is. It's a storytelling type of song, which I really, really enjoy. I think this is a fantastic effort. And of course, Norway didn't debut in 1993, but this is a very solid start to a tier list, which I'm sure will have a lot of songs towards the top of it. But yeah, 1993, I think it's a fantastic entry, really just completely enchanting, and I love that aspect of it. 1994, I think, is also absolutely fantastic. Brilliant vocal performances that really work together very well. The song has a melody which I absolutely love. One of my favorite melodies, maybe in all of Eurovision, in all honesty. Just love the evolution of it and how it really, the intonation keeps kind of being refreshing throughout. The hook is, the chorus has such a strong melody, and I think just the kind of strong delivery from the vocalists kind of just enhances that and makes it even more palpable and even more powerful. Just really, really love what they're doing here with this song, and I think it's fantastic. Also quite nicely staged, even though it's simple, it just works for a song like this, and I love the drive in it. The backing track also has great ideas in there. It's quite grand in its setting, but still really allows the vocals to be the main focus and really allow them to shine, which I really love. Fantastic. I think everyone might already know where I'm gonna put Nocturne among the greatest. It's brilliant in every in every sense of the word. Um, just this kind of opening with the soul vocal is really enchanting. I love how they also close the song with the exact same type of idea in the arrangement. And then the section between is just this kind of instrumental journey that goes through kind of different worlds of just completely transcends you to a different place, I think. I love the way that the song is structured in that way. The middle section of the song being only instrumental. It's just so phenomenal, really, how they can write something to really just latch the audience's attention to whatever they're doing without really utilizing a vocal. It just speaks of the brilliance of the melodic writing in the instruments that this song really has throughout. Also, wonderfully staged. The lighting, the shadows, mainly the shadows, I think, just sets this kind of otherworldly atmosphere that the song also really just contributes to. Incredible. Yep. 1996, we have I Evighet. Yeah, it feels like it's just gonna be songs up here for Norway. This is a beautiful song, has a great melody, fantastic vocal performance. Just love the way the song flows. It's very, very mellow, but also really just has that drive vocally, I think, which just really works for a song like this. The backing track is not really outstanding in like any way in that sense. It just does everything that it should do to really match the vocal performance and the vocal style in a song like this. Everything just clicks. It's just one of these listening experience that completely uh, overwhelms me, I guess, in a good way. Also very nicely staged. Just like the slow movement of the song as well. Sometimes slow can kind of easily become boring, but here it just kind of makes me sit on the edge of my seat instead. It's just one of those. 1990s. Okay, we're not gonna stay up here. I just realized. 1997, San Francisco. Not for me. It's almost a what happened here just because of what preceded it. Like, I don't know how they felt like, oh, we're on a very good roll here with a bunch of great results and a bunch of great songs. Let's send this. Just no. It's not particularly awful like the other songs I tend to put here, but it's just not for me. It's a song that doesn't really work for me. The genre isn't really my thing, firstly. I mean, it's done with charm, it's done with an approach that maybe it's a bit harmless and such. It's just that the song doesn't really click with me. I think the chorus is quite unremarkable. Like, it's done with kind of like a tongue-in-cheek aspect to it, but it's still just a song that I would never like to listen to again. And I also think that the performance is quite on the off-putting side, I guess. Not off-putting as in it particularly does anything that I really, really despise about it. It's just that it's not something that I enjoy watching, I guess. And we have Alltid Sommer. This one is fun. It has a strong melody, it has a strong performance, great vocal performance, honestly. And the song is just upbeat. It really has the right approach for it. I really enjoy it. I'm tempted to put it up in the really great category because that's really the impression that I get. I really like it. It's just this upbeat, really harmless kind of song, which also has a great melody to it. And I like the B section of the chorus where it's like descending intonation-wise. It's a really nice aspect with how the backing vocals are also incorporated during this section. Really, really enjoy it. I think it's a really great effort. And it's just done with the right approach as well. This kind of upbeat, happy tone just works. It goes through the screen just because of the charismatic performance as well. Just works. 99 doesn't work, however. This probably one of the most outdated songs in Eurovision. It's so obvious that this song is not from 2022 and it's not from 1965 either. This is 90s at its, I don't want to say 90s at its worst, but that's kind of what I think it is. This massive, what is it, Chicago Bulls tank top over like a sweatshirt. And yeah, his styling, let's not focus on the styling because I'm not a fashionista anyway. The song is, it has kind of like this really 90s beat that I actually kind of like, the bit boy band-esque. It's just that the hook is very underwhelming. I don't really like the descending melody in it. I think the vocal performance really drags it down. It's not done with any conviction, which just doesn't make it work. It just feels very and in a really bad way for being 90s pop. It's not for me, not at all. The performance is what makes it even worse, honestly. 2000, My Heart Goes Boom. It's catchy and it's upbeat. It wants to make people happy. And I don't know if it really succeeds with doing that when I'm the audience, but maybe it does for other audiences. So I can understand their approach and I can understand their execution. It's just not a song for me. That's really the main issue. I feel a bit harsh putting it down here, but there's nothing in the song that I really enjoy, in all honesty. So, yeah, not for me. 2001, On My Own. Yeah. This is a weird one. Like, the song actually, it has an identity. It's very memorable because of the melody and because of, like, there is a very strong vocal performance in this song. I'm also quite fond of how the backing vocals work with it. It's just, maybe I like the concept more than I like the execution of it. And his incredibly overdramatic, theatrical facial expression throughout the song is a complete turnoff. I don't like it at all. Sorry. But the melody is quite strong, I think, and I like the vocal arrangement of it. It's a bit like, okay, honestly, it gets really repetitive towards the end, which I'm not super fond of. I'll still put it in the I like it but category because I think the melody is quite strong. I like the vocal arrangement. It's just a bit too repetitive, a bit, or not even a bit. It's very over the top performance-wise, but there's charm in it, I think. I'll give it that. 2003, I'm Not Afraid to Move On. It's fantastic, isn't it? Really like this one. It's very scaled back. I think lyrically it might not be the most incredible. Like just kind of word choices and such is not really my thing. But I like the concept of it. But I think what really just makes this one stand out is the songwriting. It's such a beautifully written ballad. The progression of it flows so well. I like how piano-based it is, and that the piano is really given the momentum to shine throughout the song. Vocally, it's quite well sung, but I think just the backing arrangement is what really makes this one really stand out for me. I love the piano arrangement. I love the section towards the end that connects the second and third chorus. It's just this constant kind of evolution from the second chorus leading into the final one, and it's one of those that really builds up energy and builds up kind of passion and some kind of thing to just really keep the song evolving so that it doesn't really stagnate. It's really effectively written. Yeah, I love it. And the backing vocals throughout this song are really strong as well. I love the vocal arrangement. Fantastic. 2004, it's not really fantastic, but I mean, it is a solid song, I think. High. It's just that it's very unremarkable. It has like this kind of upbeat tone to it that I'm quite fond of. It's just that I completely forget about it every single time that I think about the song. Or not that I think about the song, but when I think about Norwegian songs or think about songs from 2004, this is the last one I think of, in all honesty. It's just so anonymous. I think that kind of drags it down a little bit. The melody is quite solid. The instrumental doesn't do anything wrong. The performance doesn't do anything wrong. It's just that nothing is really done superbly right either, I guess. Just my 2 cents on it. 2005, however, has... This one is very difficult to forget, I think. It really leaves an impression. Everything is a bit over the top in a completely different manner to the 2001 effort. This is glam rock at its finest, probably. I'm not a very big fan of glam rock in general, in all honesty. It's not my type of music. And it's not my type of performances either. I think it's too, just exaggerated and over the top. It's not my thing. But this song has a great hook. It's very memorable. The guitars are really driving throughout the song. The drumming is great. The verses have this kind of hard-hitting tone to them. It's very driving and dark in a sense, which just makes the contrast of the chorus really just pop that additional bit. Like the vocal performance, like the staging, it's very, as I've said so many times now, but it's very over the top. But in this case, I think it's in a good way. I think this is a really great entry with a really great hook. And the verses are also really strong. It's well packaged. It's a great rock song. It's just that glam rock isn't my thing, I guess. That really keeps it away from the top 2 categories. 2006, Alvedansen. Yeah, this is beautiful. Doesn't really have enough variation throughout the song. I think it's just this kind of enchanting atmosphere that it has that really makes it special. It's a very nice vocal hook with backing vocals that really work as well, and the strings that really just kind of become central throughout the song. The instrumental arrangement is great, the vocal arrangement is great. It's just that the song maybe never really carries that evolution that makes me want to put it among the top tiers here. Still really great. And I also kind of like this constant waving, like, do you call it waving? Like the movements on stage. It's a choreography. It's a very simple one, but it just works with the kind of flow of the song. It looks very nice. Looks very ethereal in a way. Quite like it. Then we have Ven a bailar conmigo. It's kind of weird having a song like this for Norway, but I think this song is quite charming. It's very upbeat. It's quite fun. I think it's solid. It's also quite a fun performance, and the hook is memorable. Doesn't do anything outstanding, but I think it's just all right in most aspects. I wouldn't turn it off if it came on, but I probably wouldn't seek out to listen to it either. But I think it's all right. They've done something that they wanted to do, and they did it, and then that's kind of it. I think neither great or neither bad about it. Solid. 2008, we're getting into the big boys, I guess, or big girls, or I don't know how to kind of express this. The big songs, maybe. Hold On, Be Strong, incredible. Among the greatest for me. I think this song just has that classy tone that I really, really love. Well executed, but the songwriting is really what sets it apart. Just has that great tone throughout. The atmosphere is really set from the beginning so well with the vocal opening. I love the instrumentation. The guitars are doing great work of just kind of filling out the soundstage, with the drumming being very constant and very in the central, which really works. But really what the main selling point is, of course, the vocal arrangement throughout. It just has a great melody, and how each section flows between each other. It's so well flowing. It's very mellow in the transitions. It just really works, and the kind of charismatic and really charming performance just elevates that. You kind of get lost into whatever world this song is really building here. I get completely lost in it, and I love every second of it. Also, this kind of I like, it's such a minor detail, but I love the ending, how it ends on the major chord instead, to really just kind of create a hopeful kind of ending. It just resolves really nicely and in an unexpected manner the first time you hear it. Just like those kind of details as well. Among the greatest. Fairy Tale, I don't think anyone would really object to me putting this in among the greatest either. It's like, I see a lot of people, maybe sometimes you kind of consider it to be a bit like overrated or whatever, like that it's not that good, but I honestly think it is that good. Everything is absolute perfection about it. It stands out so much. It has its own identity, that's for sure. You don't hear songs like Fairy Tale ever, while also still being this kind of perfect pop song in a way. The violin hook is of course very kind of iconic, but it's not really only the violin hook for me personally. I love the driving drum beat throughout the song. I think the hook is remarkably powerful and just sticks in your head instantly. It has a great melody. It's sung so incredibly well as well. And I love the performance. The performance is so fantastic with the kind of the drama that's being incorporated into it, the intense dancing choreographies behind. Everything just clicks. It's so its own thing that you just can't help but sit back and just really take in everything that they're doing. It completely has its own identity, which I just love. You know, I don't really know where they've taken inspiration to anything about this song, because I haven't really heard or seen anything like it before. Also, just love the playfulness of it. It's done with such kind of tongue-in-cheek, and it has this whole like evolution throughout the song, which is really, really tangible for me. Yeah, you know, just small details like that when the second verse comes in and they kind of swap it up from the first verse, because here they add kind of in these little more dreamy sound effects. There is this incorporation of the backing vocalists to really just fill out the soundstage. It's just those small details that makes the song feel like a journey more than just kind of stagnating and sticking to the basic formula you've already established. It just works, it clicks, it's fantastic. It's among the greatest Eurovision songs of all time, I would say. My Heart Is Yours is definitely not among the greatest Eurovision songs of all time, unfortunately. Very slow-moving ballad, has cool ideas in there. I like the melody somewhat. It's performed quite poorly, I think, though. The vocals doesn't really have any convincing tone to them. It's not really driving anywhere. And the song just kind of ponders on for 3 minutes, doesn't really go anywhere. It's unfortunate, but maybe I like it a little bit, like the kind of classy approach. I like the lighting and the stage layout, and I think the chorus has a melody in it, which I kind of like. It's just that there's no drive in the song. The vocal performance is quite weak. Doesn't really go all the way there. Haba Haba is definitely not for me. Simple as. It might be a fantastic song, but that I just don't understand. But it's not my type of music. Simple as. And I can't, like, it's one of those types of songs as well that I can't really look past the fact that it's not my type of music to find things I appreciate. You know, it's upbeat, it's happy, has some dynamic in the instrumental, but it's just something that I'd never really want to listen to for whatever reason. I just don't kind of vibe with this type of song. It's unfortunate, but that's just the way it is. 2012, we have Stay by Tucci. Like the performance of this one a lot. Like the choreography is really great. The song is kind of upbeat, has a memorable hook to it. Some sound design ideas here and there that I think are very odd. Maybe in 2012 they sounded better than what they do today, but there's like this brewing synth bass that just sounds really piercing through the soundstage that I don't like. I think it's like there's this kind of infectious hook in it though that I'm quite fond of, like instrumentally, which adds charm. Vocal arrangement is alright. It's just that the song that maybe doesn't interest me too much. It has ideas, but it doesn't really have enough ideas to really create a cohesive package that I'm just really all for. I still think it's solid, and I do like the performance of it. It's just that the song doesn't really click all the way for me. 2013 definitely clicks all the way for me. This is a fantastic song with a fantastic performance. The drumming, wow, the drumming. I love the sound of the drumming. I love the constant kind of stabs that it just kind of has as well with the strings in the background, I guess. Synth work is great. Just has that atmosphere to it that it really just stands out. And the constant hard-hitting drumming, I just love it. Vocal hook, very memorable. Also has this contrastive tone in her voice to the very dark and brewing backing track. Just really works, and the evolution of the song throughout the latter stages is also really great. Fantastic. We're getting into, Silent Storm. It's one of those songs that just shatters my heart every time I hear it, and every time I watch the performance. So well written, beautifully written. The instrumentation and the arrangement of it is phenomenal. Like the orchestration of all the strings and all of the backing track just flows together so well. Love the opening that's piano scaled back, and just how the song evolves from that into the latter stages. And it's not easy to do that, but it becomes so much more hard-hitting when you have a vocal performance like the one you have in this song. His vocals carry so much depth and character to it that really just becomes a storytelling section of the song. And the chorus really has that melody as well that really just imprints itself in my head, has a lovely intonation. It's sung so beautifully and works so well on the backing track throughout each time that the chorus returns as well. The final chorus is much more grown and much more explosive, and it's still the same melody, just works so hard-hittingly. It's like, a melody that's very flexible because it works in all types of instrumentations behind it as well. Just love it. Love the way that it progresses. Love the way that it's staged so kind of isolated-y. Like, isolated-y. I don't know. Isolated-esque. How he's on his own there, and then you have like the bridge of the violinists on the side, and how the lighting works with that as well. It just looks fantastic. It sounds fantastic. I love it to bits. Among the greatest. And we're gonna have another one. A Monster Like Me. A lot of the things that I just said about Silent Storm, you can also say about A Monster Like Me, and maybe a lot of people maybe group them together a little bit. I kind of do too. I don't really know which of the two I prefer, in all honesty. I just think they're both beautiful. A Monster Like Me has a songwriting that I think is remarkable. The chord intervals and the verses, it's beautiful. Particularly love the first chord interval, and how the vocal really just kind of create a lot of character on top of it as well. How you open the song, this scaled back with the piano and the vocal kind of whispering tone that Merland here in this case has, and then how it swaps for the second verse when Deborah here takes over, and you kind of evolve the instrumental to back her up. It's one of those kind of Journey-esque songs. Love the first minute of only having, Merland on stage, because it becomes so personal and intimate. And then how he's kind of sheltered away from the spotlight when Deborah sings the second verse. And then how they're kind of united towards the latter half of the song. It's just one of those kind of progressions that is really, really effective, and I love it. Color grading on stage, I don't think I need to say anything. It's orange, gold, and use of shadows. It looks beautiful. And I love the way that the song progresses into this explosive climax towards the end. That's just so hard-hitting and so lovely. I don't really know how to really summarize everything I feel about A Monster Like Me. It's one of my favorite songs in Eurovision, period. Um, love the evolution of it, love the arrangement. The arrangement is so incredible. The instrumentation. To think that I believe it's only Merland here who has written everything here. It's ridiculous. It's like a composition, which is just really hard hitting and striking, and I love it. Okay, we'll move on. Icebreaker from 2016. It is a shame, like, the atmosphere in this song is great. There's a sound design which I think is really cool, and the production is quite polished. It's just that it's so obvious that they didn't really know what to do songwriting wise, because this is, it feels really easy for me to just critique it for sounding like it, but I am confident that this was two different songs and they didn't really know what to do with either of them, so they just threw them together. Because the thing is that you can't really, this transition that comes here between verse and chorus in this song, it's so out of nowhere that I get completely taken out of the song and everything it tries to build up, which is so ridiculous, because there are things you can do to kind of go away from that. Tempo automation is one of the most effective ways to transition in songs, because it really builds, it can either build energy or add suspense by lowering the tempo, or you could kind of create just a variation with it. Here they do nothing with it. They don't have a tempo automation. They just chop between two different songs repeatedly. Doesn't work. Everything that they established instrumental wise and production wise just falls away from that because of the incredibly poor structure. I'm sorry to say it, but that's really what it is. But I like aspects of this song enough to make me put it in this category at least. But I am frustrated with this one, incredibly frustrated, because Norway were on a roll, and they still are. I mean, it's not like they ever lost it, but this is a massive dent in their track record, I think. The less time we talk about it, the better, I guess. Grab the Moment. Yeah. This is my music. This is my type of music to a T. Love the vocal hook. It's very memorable. But what really sells it is the vocal chops. It's among... I'm just trying to think. I think it's my favorite vocal chop melody in Eurovision. I can't think of anything that really beats it. It just has that great sound to it, first and foremost. The sound design on the vocal chop is fantastic because it's layered so well with kind of glitchy sound effect, with also a bit of synth to really just create a drive in it. And it also has this melody that's really, really memorable. It just hits so well intonation-wise and rhythmically on top of the backing beat, which is constantly so engaging. I love the synth work. I love the percussion throughout this song. The verses are very kind of scaled back, but still have that brewing energy in them from the what do you call it? Like the faded out synths. There's a word, but I can't think of it. But yeah, the synths that are kind of just lying in the background, completely cut off from its main power. That's kind of then just being built into the song as the chorus comes along. It's just very effectively written in that sense, because it feels like a progression. The verses are quite scaled back. Then you have the build up in the song that's also quite, it builds energy very effectively, I think, by cutting out the synth a bit and then just focusing on the percussion switch up. And then the chorus just has that constant drive with the synths really centrally. Vocal performance, great. Charismatic performance, just love the whole vibe of everything that goes on stage as well, with the purple and black. Yeah, and the vocal chop segments are absolutely the strongest part of the song. I love the layering, particularly in those segments. Yeah, that's a fantastic effort. 2018, That's How You Write a Song. It's a bit of a polarizing one, but I still think there's enough charm in this for me to put it in solid. Yeah. It's not really a song from a songwriting perspective. I don't really particularly enjoy it. Production-wise, it's not overly fantastic. It's still memorable. It's catchy. It's written effectively in a manner that adds kind of charm and makes something memorable for an audience. But at the same time, it's also very by the books. It's not really outstanding in any way. Um, it doesn't want to take itself seriously, and it doesn't do that, and I guess that's part of the charm. It's just not really my thing, I guess, but I still think the performance is strong enough, like charming wise and charisma wise. Also, choreography is quite great. They really just made a. This is not a song meant to be listened to. This is a performance made to be enjoyed, and I guess I gotta admire that. But I don't really back the song enough to put it higher than solid. Sorry. Then we have Spirit in the Sky, I think. Spirit of the Sky. Spirit in the Sky. Yeah. Regardless, what a fantastic piece of music. So creatively written, with incorporating so many great ideas, but still at its core, it's just this fantastic pop song with a brilliant melody. The vocal melody, especially in the chorus, is so memorable. The song progresses lovely. It has a constant drive in the instrumental that is really, really palpable. Production quality is great. Love all of the vocalists and how they work together as well. And you can see they're having the time of their life on stage. It's very obvious how much they're loving what they're doing, and that just elevates it further. I think it's a fantastic entry. It's just one of those songs that maybe the first time I heard it, I didn't really quite get everything, like how much I would absolutely love it. But when I just watched the performance, I can't get enough of it. It's among my absolute favorites in 2019, just by watching the performance. It's not a song that I listen to too often, but watching the performance, it's just mind-blowingly great by how inviting I think everything feels and how it's done with the right intention. Love it. And as I said, the chorus melody is so memorable. It's so much fun. It also has that intonation that just really works, especially with the backing track that's very driving and very constant. Love it. 2020 Attention. I know this was I guess topped a bit, like it was gonna do pretty well if the contest ever happened. I'm just not overly sold on it. I think it's a pretty ballad. Melodically, it's quite strong, and vocally, it's very strong. I think instrumentally, it's quite weak. It doesn't really ever carry that drive that a power ballad of its stature really should have. It never really kind of goes all in with the percussion mainly. I think the percussion is very restrained throughout the song, which doesn't really make any sense when the vocal is kind of so heavily focused on really being central and really pushing the song forward. Kind of needs some backing up with the backing track, and it's kind of odd as well because the backing track has this kind of approach with backing vocals and strings to really just fill out the soundstage. It's kind of weird that there's no drive behind that. I think it's just one of those that get me more confused than anything. I still think vocally it's very strong and melodically it's quite strong enough, so I'm gonna put it in solid. But I don't really think it's much more than that because the backing track lets me down quite a bit, honestly. And then we have Fallen Angel, 2021. It has a very nice melody. Like just the intonation of the chorus melody, I think, is very strong. The verses are a bit on the like they're all right. Production quality not really my thing. I think the percussion throughout the song is very restrained. It kind of has I wouldn't say a hip hop inspired beat, but it's that kind of drum machine that kind of has the same inspiration of a song like that. It's just not really really doesn't really have that drive that I want it to have. And that's I don't think of it as a shame, but it's just that I felt like the song was heading a different direction than what it actually took. Its mellow approach is charming, but maybe I would have wanted something that has a bit more drive. This way it becomes more cute, I guess, which maybe what was they were going for. But I think the song had potential to be something else, which I would have liked more. I still like it nonetheless, and I think the vocal melody is quite great. Like the performance as well. It's a bit gimmicky, but I just like the way that it looks. It's very visually appealing with the layout, I think, mainly on stage. Yeah, really great, I'd say. Not much more than that, but for me, it's a really great entry. And then you have Give That Wolf a Banana by Subwoofer. It's not my type of music, honestly. Never really was a fan of this one. Quite fond of the guitar sound in the verses. Then you have this completely contrasted tone in the instrumental, I guess mainly, and the vocal approach. Throughout the song as it progresses, it kind of takes me out of that kind of song that they introduced, and then you also kind of end the song with the same type of approach that you introduced it with the guitar and the scaled back vocal, which I think are pretty segments, even though they're not intended to be pretty, I guess. But I kind of like the sound design of those, or like just the whole sound experience. But the main song that you have here, it's not really my thing. I think melodically it's not very interesting. It's quite monotonous. The main hook of the song, which is basically like you just yum 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 or something, it's it's just done to be a bit silly and dumb, and I get that. It's just that I don't really enjoy it as much as a lot of other people. I don't think songwriting wise it's anything interesting. Melodically, I'm not fond of it. Rhythmically, it's not too interesting either. Production wise, it's solid. It has good production quality to it. It's well produced in terms of both percussion and synth work and synth leads and melody, and the vocal layering as well on top of it. But I don't think songwriting wise that it doesn't really have anything interesting, and arrangement wise either. The instrumental is quite not my thing either. I like it, but because of course, I like the kind of wackiness of them and just the approach that they've taken. It's done to be harmless and it's done to be silly, and they do that. They execute it well. It's just that I can't really get behind the song. So I'll have to put it down there. But if we look at an overall thing here, Norway are quite among the absolute top tier countries in Eurovision for me. Maybe even the top tier. I don't know. But this is... I don't really regret ranking anything on this list. I think Norway is absolutely among the most fantastic Eurovision countries. So yeah, that's my list, and I've been talking for way too long, so now I will let you do something else with your day. Hope at least you've enjoyed watching me ramble on about Norwegian songs from Eurovision. And I hope to see you in another video soon, so take care of yourselves until then, and bye.